Hello, everybody. Welcome. Special Jersey Baseball Show today. We are talking to the person who is putting together the most dominant offensive season in college baseball, recorded college baseball history. And that's Ryan McCarty, our friend just across the river in PA, Penn State Abington senior, Triple Crown leader in all categories, not just in D3, but leading all of NCAA baseball in all Triple Crown categories and about 9 or 10 other categories as well. And of course, he's our intern and always will be.
That's right.
Ryan, thank you for coming on. Thank you for everything and welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Olsh. I appreciate it. It's great to be on here finally. Hopefully we get another one later in July too.
That's right. Hopefully around draft time we got another one coming. But let's, I don't even like words. Like you're doing MLB The Show on beginner mode. You're doing like hitting off a tee with no fielders stats here. I mean, 40 games into the season, 552 batting average, 27 bombs, which like you only had 13 career bombs prior to this year. So we're going to talk about that a little bit because I haven't seen you get any bigger since the Sandlot days. So we gotta give your home run secrets to this next generation.
Definitely.
85 RBIs, 95 hits. You're close to a 100-hit season. Like we celebrate, and deservedly so, when guys get 100 hits for their careers in college is like amazing. And you're about to do it in about 2.5 months. What the heck? What I don't like. First of all, that's amazing. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what's your secret?
So the biggest secret to it, like we said, Barry Bonds before the shit. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
So the biggest difference, like I've not really changed my workout routine a lot. I've been happy with that over the off seasons, getting in there every day and doing that. But the biggest difference is the mindset, and I will preach that till the day I die, probably, because I learned from freshman year. I just heard about this stuff, and I bought into it because why not? It sounds a little silly to some at first, being able to separate pitch by pitch. People are like, oh, I do that. But it takes time to learn what that really feels like and to be able to emphasize on each at bat, like each pitch, there's a different approach, a different plan, because it all matters with outs, runners on, and stuff like that. So I've learned, I listened to these two guys, Ken Revisit and Steve Springer, every single day. And you have to just really study what they talk about, because it's incredible when you start to get to feel like, I can't even put into words how great you feel at the plate and how confident you are, because you understand failure is a part of the game, and you start to feel comfortable in the box no matter what happens. Because if you get out, it's like, okay, well, that you got the next at bat. If you make the last out of the day, well, there's tomorrow. That's what the great part about this game is. You play so many games, you get so many opportunities to do something. So the biggest difference, I'm going to go back to the pitch by pitch separation, because I've just started to grasp what that meant. I've heard it all the time in my life. Big leaguers are so good because they separate their at bats like that. And what it means to me is that I'm able to step out of the box, recollect myself, and step back in and control what I can control in that at bat. It's incredible. You slow down your game, you slow down the pitches when you're at bat. I remember talking to you earlier that mechanics and your work in the gym only make up a small percentage of what really happens on the field, because the mentality is the strongest part. I've been around a lot of great players, talent-wise, who may not be able to perform at their best ability because their mental side's holding them back. That's what the next generation needs to hear. And needs to study. I wish I could fit it in all in this meeting, but after it's been years of looking this stuff up and getting better at it. You really have to apply this every day. And some of the videos you watch on them sound super silly. The biggest video I would take from Ken Reviza is he preaches being in the moment. And that literally just means when you're putting on your uniform, you're putting on your uniform, because our mind tends to run. It goes to the past or it goes to the future. Yeah, you start to be like, oh, I was 0 for 3 off this guy, I really got to step up today. No, you don't. You're putting on your uniform. You're getting ready today, So that has helped me be in the moment. That's what separating pitch by pitch is as well. You're like, okay, that pitch is over with. This is the next one. How is this pitcher approaching me? And you got to realize the situation you're at hand.
So we can also gas up Spring a little bit, Steve Springer, because and you being the old intern know that we've got an episode of Steve Springer.
Incredible.
He talks about all that for 45 minutes. So all you young hitters out there, make sure after you're done this, make sure you click on that, and let's get some because it is a difference maker. It really is.
It's unbelievable. Miller and Manto had the privilege of working firsthand. It was Ken Reviza. They worked with him while they were on the Indians. And Miller admitted to me, he's like, at first, me and a couple other guys were like, oh, this is bogus, What is this guy talking about? Because he was like the first one to ever go to a ball club and talk about this stuff. Miller said, well, lo and behold, a couple years down the road, I'm like, holy crap, like he bought into this stuff, and how much confidence he had as a player. It was incredible. Yeah. It's a growth mindset. You have to continue to grow and get better each and every day.
So one of the really crazy things about your story and this year especially, like I said, if you do, hopefully hang on to those Triple Crown categories through the postseason. It's never happened before in D3 or D2. It's happened once in the entire history of college baseball, D1, back about 30 years ago at Indiana. So we're talking, like I said, historic stuff here.
That's awesome.
But it almost didn't happen, right? I mean, it was, this year almost certainly didn't happen the way it did. So, I mean, I'll set the stage for you, and then you kind of talk us through the craziness of this year. Penn State Abington, growing program, knocked off Rowan last year in the regular season, a World Series team, was on was number 1 regional rank for a while, just missed an at-large berth in the NCAA tournament, a lot of guys returning. And Coach Kopsky, who kind of built it to that point, left for an opportunity at Immaculata, just before the season. And you guys went through the fall without a true head coach.
Yeah.
So tell us about Coach Demento and how he was able to keep you guys together to have any sort of fall. But B, I know there were times where you were thinking, why didn't I take my one-time transfer and get out of here? And then all of a sudden, like right into your lap is, Coach Dave Miller, reigning A10 Coach of the Year, D1, should be D1 coach. And then after that, he pulls in, a guy who should be coaching in the majors right now is your hitting coach, Jeff Manto. All of a sudden, you're like, you got a staff better than any of these programs you could have transferred to.
Yeah, it's so. I loved Coach Kopsky. I love him. I know a lot of the guys loved him too. Yeah. The timing of it was just so unfortunate coming up on that fall season. He even tried to match what Immaculata was giving him with Abington, and it just wasn't possible with our school for their reason. I'm not sure, but so the timing was really unfortunate. It hurt a lot of us. A lot of guys came back for him. A lot of guys transferred for him. Mm-hmm. So with Demento staying, that really had us like grow a lot of love for him. We already loved him, but him staying was more of a bond than you could try to make up, because such a heart crushing leave like that, and you had somebody stay there for you. It was incredible. We still had to put together a really good fall, which we did. I think we played with a lot of passion in the fall because of what happened. So we had a really competitive fall. We played against each other a lot, and worked with what we had. Because then I think the interview process was around November,
Mhm.
for the new coaches, when we got to meet Miller. And so the whole team was like grouped there to like hear him talk for a little bit, and we kind of left there, and we were almost like, why is this guy here? we're like no way, like we're like, this is happening. People thought it wasn't like real. We're like, all right, this is not happening. I don't know. He's definitely got
Yeah, 'cause
another.
he
He's
had the
definitely
3 or 4 other, D1 jobs that were like, thought could have been fits for him, and
Yeah,
sure.
we're like, this is really cool. We get him here for an interview, but he's probably going elsewhere and come spring. That was cool. And I think December rolls around and they finally made the announcement. It was closer to January. They made the announcement that Miller was our official head coach. And we were like, holy crap, we did this. Like, this is happening right now. And he did have 3 or 4 other D1, D2 offers
Mhm.
that he turned down. He wanted to be in the Philly area and stay with us. I think he says his dad went here too, which is awesome. So it may have been a little special for him as well. Um, and then give it another couple weeks, and because he told us he wanted to bring on Jeff Manto as his hitting coach. The official announcement didn't come for another couple of weeks
Yeah,
because
you're like, "Sure. Yeah, sure you do." Yeah.
yeah, okay, because we waited a couple weeks because he was like, oh, it's either going to be the Mets job or Penn State Abington. Like classic. I
A
don't, I
sentence
don't know
that's
how that happened.
never been said before. It's either gonna be the Mets job or Penn State Abington, right?
Yeah, just like, oh, you come be the hitting coach for this D3 school. So then that works out. I was kind of like, oh, I'm glad you didn't get the job, Jeff, but sorry. But
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna be a little selfish here. We get to pretty much have we play with 2 scouts in front of us pretty much every day. So if any of these guys want to have a shot at this next level thing and play 4 years, you don't have to go and worry at a D1, sit 2 years and then get junior senior year to play in front of a scout. You get to just go to Penn State Abington now and get your opportunity freshman year on, and you play in front of 2 scouts every day. I mean, they make the calls you need whenever you need them, and it's just you're playing in front of 2 traveling scouts. It's an incredible opportunity. Obviously, we've talked about it before. This is lucky if you get this at a top D1 program.
Right.
So staying ended up working out. Needless to say, that was a big worry at the beginning of all of that. And then it was also awesome of him. I wanted to say it was awesome of him keeping Demento on the staff as well, because I remember he didn't know who Joe Demento was, but he did know how he stayed for us in the fall, and he said how incredible that was. So he stayed as our assistant coach, which was big help. Him
Yeah.
and Coach Roth too. They stayed with us, and it was incredible.
Yep. So 31-9, great season. Right. Finished just behind Penn State Harrisburg in the
Mm-hmm.
conference. And probably the hardest thing about that was literally your first conference series. So
Yeah,
before you really got to get together as a team. But
exactly.
now heading into the conference tournament this weekend, double elimination at Harrisburg, right? Penn College is there, Lancaster Bible is there. That's your 4 teams.
Yep.
You guys went to the NCAA tournament the year before COVID, right? 2019. Coach Kopsky took you there for the first time.
Yeah, correct. First time in school history.
Yeah. What would it mean to you to go back again this year? Because your conference, you pretty much got to win that conference tournament to get in.
Definitely. That is almost a for sure thing now. You have to win that conference to get there. It would mean everything to me, because me and one other kid, Jaden Himmelreich, we've been here for 5 years together now. And we remember going back to 2019. It was just a great time there as a team. It was first time in school history. Now this year we had the first time in school history for 30 plus wins.
Yep.
So to be able to go back and get a chance with this group of guys would be really special. I think we have a strong chance at this playoff run, because now, like we said, it was the first series of the year, getting to know our pitchers. We were missing two of our best hitters too, and Zach Morales, Justin Fogel. So those two in the lineup again are going to be great. And we got a good shot at doing something in regional too. That first time in the regional was a quick exit. A quick 0-2, but we got a taste.
Weren't the closest games.
No, not at all either. Yeah, the Rowan one was rough, so that was great. We've been able. We know we are that team that could be there and win a regional, because like we said, we had beaten Rowan last year, runner-up, World Series champs, and this year with Salisbury. When our pitching and our hitting are clicking, we know we are that team. We know we could be that good. We just need to be able to show up and have fun every day.
Yeah, and your lineup, right? I mean, they probably hate you because you're getting all the attention right now.
They're breaking records themselves too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you look in and you see like runs. You are like, the gap between you and second place in runs is like the same as the gap between like in entire D3 is like between second and 20th. But second place is Chase Swain.
Chase Swain, he's right there with a lot of categories, runs, hits.
Yeah,
like all of it.
So you've got Chase, who kind of, he transferred from Ryder. So he's a D1 talent. He's known Coach Miller for years. But you've got, Jared Fogel, who's a great hitter. We've known that for years.
Yeah.
Tim Petroselli transferred from D1 to kind of solidify the middle of your lineup.
Definitely Morehead State. He leads the country in walks. So
you got guys who just swing it, and it's you don't put up 12 and a half runs a game by just one guy, no matter how dominant that player's been.
Exactly.
Right? That's a whole team lineup.
Yep, because that's what I'm saying. I remember just before we got on here, I saw somebody commented on a tweet saying like, it's surprised they don't walk this guy more. Well, it's because I got 3 hitters in front of me and freaking 6 behind me that could do just as good. And so it's hard to pitch to our lineup.
Yeah, it really is. Not a lot of quick games with you guys this year.
No. I think it took us like 12, 15 games to get something under 3 hours. We were like, okay, this is nice scoring all this much, but now we're spending half our day at the field. When did
you know, like, I mean, right away, you scored 62 runs the first 2 games, you know, and I was like, and I think I even texted you afterwards, like, who the heck were you playing? And it was, I forget the team, but you said, like, it had been pretty even back and forth through the years. You play them every year.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's like, well, we scored 62 runs our first, like, 12 innings of the season. And when did you know this was like had the potential to be crazy?
I think I would say right around that time, because we had never gotten outside before that game. So it was always tough. We would just take like indoor batting practice, and it's always tough to see on live pitching what you're doing in cages. And after that second game was when it was like, okay, this could be something really special. Because that first game, maybe we had like a nice little start, beginner game, and had a good time. But then we came out the second day and 10 times better. We scored 1.5 times runs more.
Yeah, 26 wasn't enough. We got to throw up 36 this game.
Yeah, we went from 20 to freaking 35 like that. And I was like, okay, this team is legit, man. Like we are something to be reckoned with. I knew we were good coming into this, but that was like we got something special here. That we got something special after those 2 games. And just like that.
And anyone who's thinking that, oh my God, who is he playing? And that's why the stats are so good. We're talking about somebody who hit 350 in the Valley League last year, playing top players in the country, top, college D1, D everything, down the Valley League, and two-way the heck out of it with a great year. with Wood, by the way.
Yeah.
Was that a key for you mentality to I mean, we've talked in the past about how I think you could hit anybody, but was last year and just being such a complete player. I should also mention you got 20 steals this year. We gotta throw a little shout for the speed. It's not just power, but did that experience make a difference for you going into the year too?
Definitely. I think I really wanted to go back there and prove myself, because coming off the fall or the summer I had there in 2019, I started to pick it up at the end of 2019, but that couldn't erase the 30 games before that, unfortunately. And it wasn't the season I wanted to have. So that was when I had my mental check, like, hey, I need to keep working on this stuff. I thought maybe, I had it down, No, there was so much more to learn and so much more areas to grow. And that's exactly how I took it into that summer. One of the biggest challenges from going D3 to that big D1 is that pitching. So there's sort of a switch there with my contact point and my practice and stuff like that. But that summer really helped me figure out what I need to do on the field to show that I could play at the next level. I mean, I took that summer personally. Like, that was like where I needed to show people, hey, I can still play with these guys. And even in D3, we have really, really good pitchers even in our conference at Harrisburg. They have some of the top arms in D3, and Drew Harshbarger and Zach Geddes. They are also pitchers who can definitely compete at that D1 level. So it's just very hit or miss on certain days. I remember I forget who I was talking about it with, but like some days you'll face like a mid-8, some days you're like, oh, this guy's like 78. And then there's some day you get a guy that's 91, 92, and you're like, okay, like what is going on?
You gotta be able to hit all of them. That's right.
Yeah, you gotta be able to.
What you see.
It really keeps you mentally in check going D3 to D1, competing with everybody, because baseball is crazy how there's just all this different types of talent and people utilize their talents differently.
We knew from the Sandlot League though, right? I mean, it's funny, right? Looking back, I still will tell, if we're talking about you and you hitting against, Connor Stain, who we've had on, obviously, who's crushing it at UCF and
he's dominating, man,
moving up into the top 2 or 3 rounds of the draft, and how you're able to, kids throwing 95, and you're able to have the, be able to know when to sit off speed and able to take him deep. Just the ability to handle pitching at that level. I mean, you have it. It's there. It's and I think you've always proven, which is awesome. Brings up the obvious question, right? July draft. 20 rounds hurts. 40 rounds would have been easy for guys in your position to get the chance somewhere.
Yeah.
Realistically, you're probably right on the bubble one way or the other as far as getting drafted, but there's still the guys have gotten, plenty of free agent signings after the draft as well.
Exactly.
What would it mean to you to hear your name called either in the draft or get the phone call right afterwards that, the Phillies, this is so-and-so with an opportunity to come to the minors and play?
That means the world to me, and I'm sure to anybody who gets to hear their voice or their name called, because that's just all the work you've put into this game for ever since you were 5 or however old you are when you start playing. Like you start that dream at a young age, but to have it become a reality is probably an unreal experience. I'm sure that's why I've heard many people say maybe the most nerve-wracking day of their life. It's because, holy crap, I've done something and I got a shot at something I dreamed of when I was a kid. Not many people get that opportunity. Top 1% of the any game gets that opportunity. But hearing that name call is probably something super special. And I would try to be with my family that day. I'm going to North Carolina to play with the Coastal Plains League for a little, hoping that maybe an extra month before that draft, be like, hey, this is D1 guys, and I'm playing with them still, So in that way, it only can help me really.
Yeah.
But that is something that name call is worth sharing for your entire life.
Yeah.
That is.
And you've started to hear from some teams and had some meetings at this point, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
starting to become more and more real as we get closer, and it's
exactly. Even that, after those calls, you take a second to step back and be like, wow, like I'm getting an opportunity to talk to these guys, like coming in as a freshman, I'll never forget talking to my first scout. And it's like, wow, I'm doing something in my sport. Like this is something like, oh, I've dreamed about this. Like, oh, I get to talk to a scout. Oh, I hear my name called, but seeing it start to work itself out is, you gotta take a step back and say how amazing this is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is, Pennsbury High School, 2017 grad, state champ your senior year. We got
Yeah,
to shout out the Falcons, obviously, for that.
always Coach Pacey.
Um,
Yeah,
but, if people were wondering, not a lot of opportunities, right? Not a good junior year batting wise, right? Under 250 in high school.
yeah,
Alvernia, Arcadia, Penn State, Abington, right?
yep.
To be able to take it from there and show that dedication and commitment and getting stronger, give you a chance to shout out the school a little bit. What's Penn State Abington meant to you?
Penn State Abington has for sure been my home the past 5 years now. Um, Going to a little school actually has turned out to be a great thing because I want to only grow what this school is about, because the more success I may have, it helps everybody at Abington. It helps Abington, the school, helps players around me on this team. That's exactly what having the success is all about. It's for the other people really to also help them have their dreams. There's plenty of guys on our team that are next level players too. So I hope to have this school just continue to grow with athletes and students as well. And I remember, we were talking about that 250 average junior year. That's when the D1 sign all their players. So if you see a high school hitter hitting 250, you're like, all right, we're gonna pass on this guy. So I don't blame them. It makes sense at the time. I just always believed in myself and what I was doing. I was like, I know there's a better version of me. So I just kept my head down and just kept working out, hitting, and what everything else. You just keep your head down, keep working. And I've always loved Penn State too, obviously. Growing up somewhat around there, I've always loved their baseball. I've always loved their football. It's always a very exciting time. So Penn State's always been a part of my life, and it's very special. Gonna get a degree from here, and being able to play here for as long as I did, it was a great time.
What would you tell guys who are worried that they're uncommitted in kind of that same, junior, early senior-ish mode? Would it be to kind of, believe in yourself and stick to your plan and really commit if you want to get those results?
Definitely. It's tough mentally. It's a gut check for sure, because my dream school was Vandy. So sophomore year, freshman year, me wanted to go to Vandy. But you get Abington, Alvernia, or Arcadia. They're not the same, but they are great in their own ways. So it is tough on yourself mentally, knowing you're not where you want to be, but that does not mean you have to stay there. The only way to get through that is to continue to believe in yourself and to put in the work and put in more work. It'll inspire you to keep working harder. Motivation only lasts for a little bit, but if you're really inspired to do something, you'll take time and dedicate your life to it. And that's exactly what you have to do to get where you want to be. Baseball, we're very lucky. Baseball is the way it is. Although the draft rounds are shorter, being D1, D2, or D3, you can still do it. There was 5 or 6 guys last year. It was 20 rounds again, but there were 5 or 6 D3 guys still got to hear their name called, a shortstop, a catcher, and a couple pitchers. So it's possible.
And you're a shortstop and a pitcher, so you should have twice as much chance.
Yeah, I get, yeah, that's how it works. I get twice the odds now. So
That's right. That's right. Ryan McCarty, our guest today. Like I said at the beginning, the most dominant single college baseball offensive season in history. The stats say that. On pace to become, we finish out the season only the second player in NCAA history at any level to win a Triple Crown nationally. That's not locally or within the league. 1209 slugging percentage, right? The difference between first and second there is a bigger gap between second and about 150th place nationally. It's just I don't even know how to put these into perspective, other than I can't think of anybody who deserves it more. Thank you for coming on.
Of course. And if I want to say one more thing, it was just I'm going back to that mentality, guys. I'm going to go back to it because I can't preach it enough. Another thing, key aspect of honing in your skill every day, being a better teammate, is I didn't look at my stats once this year. I never do. Of course, I see it on social media at times.
It's my fault.
That's okay. And that's okay because the way where I'm at now with my mentality is I'm able to take a deep breath with it, and I could close my eyes for a second and tell myself, hey, this is the first at bat of the year right here. This game is opening day, because when you play on opening day, there is no expectations. There is no yesterday. So every at bat is your first at bat of the year. Every game is opening day. Now that's I'm going to close it on that one.
I've heard that before. I think I'm going to clip that and send that one to Spring and see what he has to say.
Oh yeah. It's big on him. That's
right. And that's why we didn't do this. We refused to do this till after the regular season was over, because that's one chapter. Now we got the postseason chapter, and see how
exactly.
Well, good luck. Good luck Friday. We will certainly be following, and always wish you the best, Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you, Walsh. Thank you, Coach Olson. I appreciate it.
Ryan McCarty, our guest, Jersey Baseball Show. It's not New Jersey. We don't care today. It's worthy of your time, and certainly the greatest story, like I said, being written in college baseball this year. We look forward to seeing everybody at the field, and thank you for watching.